everyone, welcome back to yet another episode. Now, this is, again, I haven't quite figured out this camera yet. I'm gonna be honest, there's still some things that I'm working out, like the watermark that's somewhere over here in my last video. I didn't know it was going to be there, so hopefully that's not there anymore. I think I figured it out, but I'm not sure. The mic, I haven't played around with a super whole lot, so I still don't know how good the quality is. With all that aside now, I want to talk about the actual main point of this video here, and that's Maximum Football 2020. Quick pause in the video, I just need to say something. I filmed this video, I think, like a week after the game actually came out, maybe a few days after. So it has been a little bit longer than what I say in the video. I haven't actually played the game in a while, so if there's been any updates that fix any of the bugs that I'm talking about, I'm not aware of them. This is just at the time what was up with the game. Anyway, back to the video. It released, I think, Friday is when I got it. And I said I was going to make videos about it, and I am going to. I've been, playing around with it for a little bit because I want to get a review out. Now, this review is going to have... It's not going to be as in-depth as the one I'm going to make later on when Access comes out, but it's still going to be a review nonetheless. Okay, so for starters, what I want to say is this game... When you buy this game, do not expect Madden, because it's not going to be that. Obviously, I know a lot of people are like, well, if I'm buying this game, I don't like Madden. That's kind of the thing, which I get, I fully understand, but don't expect a Madden level of animation is what I'm saying. Now, this game is way less animation dependent as Madden. In fact, it's very physics-based. But that doesn't mean that it looks good, because it kind of doesn't. Now, the graphics themselves, like the character models, they're obviously not, as good as Madden's, because Madden is a AAA company. But it actually doesn't look super bad, like if you're just looking at the character models and the lighting and stuff. Again, it's not great, but it's not the worst thing I've ever seen in the world, so I do appreciate that, it looks fairly decent. I play it on an Xbox One, so this is that review of it. I know PlayStation probably looks a little bit different, or maybe the Xbox Series X, or not Series X, sorry. The Xbox One X, I've heard it looks better, but I'm not, I'm not sure. But yeah, I do appreciate that. But the problem is with like how characters interact with each other. Now, I'm not saying that it looks bad necessarily. I'm just saying that it looks a little off. Specifically, I'm talking about tackling, because tackling is atrocious in this game. Whether you're on defense or while you're playing offense and trying to avoid tackling, either way, it still is kind of bad. Because some of the tackles, some of them look okay. Most of them don't. If you hit the tackle button when you're on defense, don't do that. It doesn't ever work. Because the characters will, like, slide and then go to tackle, and you can't position your player in a right way to make a dive tackle, so you're basically just running into them. Now that works most of the time, but again, some of the movements in this game are super, super choppy, so it's really hard to line up, especially for sex. I've had so many times when I come in off the edge on the line, and I'm just free running right to the quarterback, and I just can't sack him because he steps up in the pocket, but because it's such a jerky movement, I either go run behind him or run in front of him, or he goes to run, and I just can't reposition my guy enough. And another weird thing about it is, you know how in Madden, when you run to the left, and then you stop, if you let go of the joystick, it'll stop running. It'll just stand there waiting for your next input. Well, this game doesn't do that. I'm not quite sure why, but if you start running in one direction, you can't change directions right away. Now, I know you like Superhuman, like you can't just all of a sudden cut back, but you need to be able to turn. In this game, you really can't. Sometimes it just doesn't register a turn. And if you start one direction and just let go of the joystick because you're trying to sit in one area, especially in a zone defense, it'll just keep running, like, without you doing anything, and that's really annoying. I'm not sure why it does that. It makes covering in a zone basically impossible. And sometimes the computer will just automatically do something that you didn't tell it to do, and I don't like that. So controlling defense is very weird. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's not a great feeling. On offense, this is where this game shines, because it's actually very good. Running feels very natural. It's you get the ball in your hands, you can go. Now, juking in this game is basically non-existent. If you do the juke in the game, it's basically a side, it's like it stops your momentum and then you go to the left. Now, this does work. It works in certain situations. But if you're expecting a juke like you get in Madden, don't do that because it's not going to work. You need to figure out how to use this. But it does work. You just need to get it in the right context. Spinning works better. It's more like Madden, and you can spin to the left or right, which, like, with the direct button, which I really like, because in Madden it just automatically does it, and half the time it spins the wrong damn direction. Now, passing in this game is a little off. Because you don't throw a bullet pass, it will never be complete. I'm not quite sure why, especially because bullet passes in Madden are, like, really overpowered and very rarely get, you know, they're either picked off or they're caught. But in this game, it's like the opposite, where never throw it because it'll never be complete. Sometimes if the wide receiver is running like a drag or something across the field, and you bullet pass it, it'll either be just 5 or 10 yards in the wrong direction, or the wide receiver, it'll be like where it's supposed to be, but the wide receiver will just stop running, wait for the ball to pass, and then continue running. It's a very subtle movement. You can't really see it in-game, but if you go into the replay, you can definitely see they just stop running. I'm not sure why. Hopefully it'll be fixed in a patch later on, but as of this point, you cannot bullet pass, so stick to touch passes, which mostly work. Passing is a little bit difficult, a little bit more difficult to run, but I find it, you know, not super bad. You know, if you're watching this video, you've seen the thing where the quarterback will go to handoff and it'll just run in a circle forever. Now that was annoying, but it's been fixed. There was supposed to be a day one patch that released with the game, but it didn't on PlayStation or Xbox. The PlayStation version actually got that update before Xbox did, but when the Xbox did, that is fixed. I haven't seen it since, so that's good. So you don't have to worry about that. It's that was kind of that was just very annoying, but it's been fixed. The game does have glitches, don't get me wrong. There are times when you'll tackle the ball carrier, and the ball carrier can just get back up. They don't run, because they register it as the play is over, but the game doesn't. So he'll get up and just stand there forever, and you can't tackle them until like a second or two, and then they'll either fall back down again or they'll get tackled again, and then the play is over. That's really weird. I even had one instance where he got up, started running, got tackled again, and then it counted it as a touchdown even though they were on like their own 30-yard line. I have no idea how that happened. It's only happened to me once, but that was really annoying, and it actually gave the team the lead at the point in the game. So that needs to be fixed. Kicking in this game is another thing that a lot of people say is broken. It's definitely not broken, it's just really hard, especially compared to Madden, where all you have to do is hit 2 buttons and it is perfect every time, unless you get that stupid kick lag. In this game, you don't need to do that. It's very similar to how 2K did it in 2K8, except it's a little bit different, where instead of swinging your leg with the ball, you're supposed to do it. So, it's kind of hard to explain, but the way that you activate a kick is, you control where the thing is going with the left stick. With the right stick, you pull down once you get in the ready. Once you get wherever you want it to go, you pull down, you pull up, and then you have to do the motion again really quick, and then it'll kick properly. Now, the ball trajectory when it kicks is always really low, so you have to point it up, but sometimes you don't want to do that because it won't go as far. I still haven't mastered the kicking. I've missed extra points and field goal, and on a few games I've played, the kickoffs will only go 5 yards, because it's not a perfect system, but I actually like it more than Madden's. You just need to get used to it, so that's interesting. Also, this is a little bit, I'm not sure if it was because there wasn't the update yet, or because the game just crashed or whatever, I'm not quite sure, but on the first day I got it, I started making rosters for all the teams, because keep in mind this is the generic football game, so you can go in on a 32-team league and it has all of the teams, like you can tell who they're supposed to be. I just edited their names and, you know, tweaked the uniforms to make it look closer to the NFL, and added logos and stuff, but but the players are all still, like, you know, the generic players that are just auto-generated in. So I edited all of the team's quarterbacks, and I got 4 away from finishing until the game just decided to stop, and it crashed and booted me to the Xbox home screen. And I was like, oh, that sucks, but there was a save and exit button on each quarterback. You hit the Y button, it saves them, it exits you back to the roster management so you can edit more players. So I'm like, okay, fine, I'll just go and edit the last 4, and I'll be done. Except that didn't happen. For some reason, it decided to just not save any of my progress after the last 2. And all of the quarterbacks that I'd done, other than Kyler Murray and Matt Ryan, were just gone. They were back to the original. I pretty much killed that, whatever I was trying to do there. Like, I was gonna, I wasn't gonna put everybody in the NFL, but I was gonna put every quarterback and maybe 1 or 2 positional players. But I couldn't do it all again. Because you need to, go in, edit their names, edit their height, which is in inches, by the way, so that's super weird. You have to edit their, their weight if you want to. You can edit, what they wear, and then you do their attributes. And I just couldn't go back and do all of them again, because I didn't have the desire to do that all again. So that sucks, and I really wish I wouldn't have done that, because now, But, this is a game, at the end of the day, made by like 6 people. It's not going to be perfect. I'm not expecting it to be perfect. But there are issues about this game. If you're looking for a good Madden alternate, this might be for you, it might not be for you. In this review, I haven't even touched the various modes in the game, like the Dynasty mode or the Season mode, mostly because I haven't played them. And I want to save that for the in-depth review. This is just the talking about the game review. The in-depth review will come when I compare this and Axis to Madden whenever Axis releases, and I get enough time to play that. This is just my first opinions on the game. So thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and hopefully it was informative to you. If you liked it, or if you're debating on this game, hopefully I gave you a little bit of context of what you like and what you don't like. I was a little bit more on the negative side in this review, and I didn't really mean for that to be a thing, because I enjoy the game. It is still fun, even though there are issues with it. I'm not denying that. I just want to point out that, I'm not saying it's a perfect game or anything, because it's definitely not, and it needs improvement, but at the end of the day, I still find it enjoyable, and, maybe that'll be for you too. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode. Goodbye!